Beyonce and Jay-Z's relationship chart. So typically I use the whole sign house method, but this puts the two birth charts of the individuals together and creates a relationship chart. And for ease of accessibility, I'm going to use this chart. So it is showing a moon and sun in Libra, Virgo rising, Mars in Taurus, and then Venus and Mercury, Uranus in Scorpio. South node is also in Scorpio, North node in Taurus, Saturn in Cancer. The moon in the relationship chart is the woman, and that being in Libra in the second house, the sun with Jupiter, it does show that this is more of like a business, financial type of relationship. The two are 100% like on the same page logically with their decision making. You know, they will have some butting of heads with moon conjunct the sun. They'll have some disagreements, some arguments, some tension. But as far as like decision making and sort of the business of the marriage, they are on the same page. And Jupiter there in the second house brings money, wealth, abundance to the union. Of course, you know, having that in the second house makes sense for these two. Obviously, getting together was not just a love romantic thing, it was a business decision. But in Libra is ruled by Venus, so there is a romantic love connection underlying all of this, but it is based on that logical information and that logical decision of, okay, this is a balanced choice. We are making this financial decision to marry. You know, most people look at marriage in that way of a business decision. You know, it is, you know, with TV and things, I think people have made marriage into more of a, oh, romantic, like whatever type of thing. And for some people it can be that, but I think most people look at marriage as like, okay, this is a lifelong union. And, you know, I think that's how Beyonce and Jay-Z see this for sure. Now, having this strong Venus-Mercury opposition to Mars is an issue. You know, I do see Scorpio heavy in long-term relationships, very powerful, impactful, intense connections with people, very emotional connections, having that Scorpio energy there. But having Uranus there, though, with that Venus-Mercury energy is bringing unpredictability, something as far as uncertainty and just things kind of coming up that you're not really expecting to deal with in a romantic relationship, which can cause a bit of like negativity and just frustration. In the beginning, Uranus with Venus can be like an electrifying like romance, very sparks flying. But as this develops, it can kind of lead into more of like an uncertainty of trust with them. And having Mars opposite there can even bring in a level of, I don't want to say violence, but just some physical tension, built up frustration, even sexual frustration. And that Mars energy just is bringing in high passion. You know, Mars opposite Venus, especially I think as she was so young when they got together, like there was a real like power dynamic there and control between them. And as that grows, it can lead into, you know, physical tension, and it can lead to even like physical aggression between the two of them. I don't want to say that's been the case by any means, but, you know, if not, it can just be pretty high dramatic fights. Saturn square Jupiter is kind of problematic as well, just because it brings in like a level of there being some kind of duty and responsibility that is harder to achieve between the two of them, like staying maybe committed, loyal, or holding back your need for like overindulgence with that Jupiter energy can, you know, be a tense vibe, but it's like a lifelong connection. This is something that is like a bind between the two of them. They have this really, especially since it's in that second house, Jupiter, that financial bind and bond that they have. You know, no matter I think what really happens, they're going to be together, and they're going to decide that the relationship and the responsibility in the marriage is going to come first, you know. And I don't like totally agree obviously with that woman. I commented about the synastry of Jay-Z and, you know, Beyonce not being his dream girl. I think it's a lot more complex than that, and that's why you do need the relationship reading, because, you know, I've done videos on astrology and being someone's dream girl and their ideal, and they do have a lot of issues in their synastry that show that, you know, for long term maybe it's such a great match, but as far as it being a marriage and a union, it does show a lot of hard work. But even having that Mars in Taurus and that Virgo rising show that commitment to one another, commitment to making it work and sticking it through till the end. While they will have high emotional drama, unexpected things come up, and, you know, kind of power struggle between the two of them as they grow and age with one another, I really don't think they're ever gonna like break up or anything. And as far as her being his dream girl, at one point I think she may have been, and that changes through time. You grow and learn to, you know, respect and love the person that you're with, regardless of like the fantasy that they kind of show you. But I think that Jay-Z has a pretty good grasp on reality, you know, like he chose her, he knew what he was getting into. She as well made the logical choice, you know, love aside, they logically, I think, choose to be with one another, which is nice. My name is Desiree. You can book an astrology reading with me, see my link in bio, or email me.